Okay guys, let's take a look at this problem. Find the height of this rectangular prism, which has a volume of 15/16 cubic feet. Okay, so this is one of those problems where they are giving us the volume and we have to find the height. So we also know the length and the width. So we're going to set this up. We're going to write our formula. Volume is equal to length times width times height. Well, we know, I'm going to write in red, this is our length, this is our width, we have our volume here, okay? Little eraser right there, okay? So, I'm going to fill in the values that we have. So we know volume is 15/16. We don't know we do know the length. The length is 3/4 feet. The width is 1/2 feet. We do not know the height. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to simplify the right side of this equation. So I'm going to keep 15/16 on the left. I'm going to multiply 3/4 times 1/2. So 3 times 1 is 3. 4 times 2 is 8. I keep my h. So 3/8 h is on the right. 15/16 is on the left. So 15/16 is equal to 3/8 h. Well, 3/8 h means 3/8 times h. How do we undo multiplication? Well, we have to divide, right? We have to use inverse operation. So what we have to do is divide both sides of our equation by 3/8. So I'm going to divide this side by 3/8, and I have to divide this side by 3/8. Now, what you should remember from our algebra unit is that when we are trying to get rid of fractions, we can also multiply by the reciprocal, right? And that gets rid of the fraction. It's the same thing. So when you divide by fractions, remember keep, change, flip, that's the flip, right? So instead of actually dividing by 3/8, what we're going to do is multiply by the reciprocal. So I'm going to rewrite that over here. 15/16, and I'm going to say times 3/8 is equal, whoopsies. 15/16 times 8/3, because I need my reciprocal, is equal to 3/8 h times 8/3. Well, these cancel out, so on this side, I'm just left with h. On this side, I need to do my multiplication. So if I were you, the first thing that I would do is I would cross simplify. 8 goes into 8 once, 8 goes into 16 twice, right? So 15 times 1 is 15, 2 times 3 is 6. So what I need to do now is simplify. So 15/6, I'm going to take 15, I'm going to divide it by 6. 6 goes into 15 twice, 2 times 6 is 12, I subtract, I get 3. So I have 2 and 3/6, which is the same thing as 2 and 1/2. When I simplify, so my answer is going to be 2 and 1/2 feet for my height. Okay, so we're going to check that in the calculator real quick to make sure we get 15/16 when we multiply. Well, I'm actually not going to check in my calculator. I'm going to do it here. So I'm going to take 2 and 1/2. Well, I'm going to switch colors. Let's go to green. 2 and 1/2 times 3/4 times 1/2. So that should give me my volume, right? So volume is going to be equal to 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5. Halves times 3/4 times 1/2. 5 times 3 is 15 times 1 is 15. 2 times 4 is 8 times 2 is 16. Look at that. Volume is equal to 15/16. That's what we started with. We are correct. Check. Good. I hope that made sense to you. We used our algebra we learned from our previous unit to solve for the height. If you have any questions about that one, please shoot me an email. Okay.